All right, we're going to try something a little different here. I want you to have your Sidurim open to page 166. Don't worry, we're not going backwards. It's just the most convenient place to find the particular song that we are about to work on. It's found in many parts of the Sidur, but here I thought I could help all of us lock it in. Page 166. And if you look right down at the bottom of the page, you will see Oseh Shalom. Probably the words are familiar to many of you. The melody that I would like to teach you is perhaps one that thankfully our students know, but maybe some of the rest of you do not. That's okay. You will learn. All right, we are going to try and conduct this because after we've got the basics down, we're going to try a few different variations. One side, other side, front, back. Follow the bouncing baton. Try and stay on the beat, and we'll see if we can't put this together a little bit more chorally than sometimes we do. Everybody good? All right, so let's start off with the super, super easy part. Repeat after me. Lai lai. Die die. Good, you know the words. Okay? So, and for our students from the school, right, Jasper, Emma, Adam, you guys, you know this one. Lai da 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 die, die da 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 die, da 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 die, da 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 die. Yes, you know this. Ya da 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 die, die da 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 die, da 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 die, da 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 die. Want to do that one more time? All right, we all got that? Because that's sort of the chorus. All right, and my students, come on guys, I'm not hearing you, okay? Don't make me point at you with my magic baton, because no one wants that, okay? Let's try the Lailas one more time, then we're going to go into the Oseh Shalom, and you'll see how it all fits together. Ready? Lai da 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 die, die da 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 die, da 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 die, da 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 die. Ya da 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 die, da 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 die, ya da 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 die, ya da 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 die. Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru, Amen. Ya da 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 die, ya da 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 die, ya da 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 die, ya da 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 die. This side. Ya da 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 die, ya da 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 die, ya da 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 die, ya da 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 die. Do better. Ya da 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 die, da 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 die, ya da 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 die, ya da 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 die. Together. Oseh Shalom bimromav. I can't hear you. Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru, Amen. Only the good singers. Ya da 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 die, ya da 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 die. Where'd everybody go? But you all stopped. Not all of you, but most of you stopped. No one wanted to be called out as a good singer? Well, no karaoke aficionados here? No open mic night lovers? Yeah, nothing will kill participation better than by only asking for the people that are good at doing something to actually do it, because nobody wants to self-select themselves and put themselves forward as good, which is gratifying in one respect, that we don't have people that are overconfident and arrogant. That's wonderful. But it's also terrible in another way. Think of how you felt, that split-second decision that you had to make. I need to put this down or else I'm going to put my eye out. That split-second decision you had to make. He just said only the good singers should continue. Immediately in your mind, it's like, well, am I good enough to qualify as being a good singer for what the rabbi has just asked? If I go ahead and continue singing, Are other people going to look at me and judge me? What do you think you're doing? You don't belong in this. You're not a good singer. Maybe I should just keep my mouth shut because I'm probably maybe kind of not welcome in that group. That feeling is a feeling that millions of people have every day. We may not think that we're telling people to stay away. We may not think that we are deliberately excluding people. But there are millions of people who feel alienated every single day, and especially when it comes to religion. You see, religion has a really, really horrible reputation that, at least religions in general, have earned, and our own as well, and much as we hate to admit it. We have discriminated. We have been bigoted. We have been prejudiced. We have been hateful towards others. We have set up barriers for those that are a different race, for those that are of a different gender, for those that have a different sexual orientation. And the loudest voices speaking on behalf of religion time and time again for centuries now have told all of the, quote, marginalized people, you don't really belong here. You're not one of the good singers. We don't actually really want you here. If you fix yourself, if you change yourself, if you weren't yourself, then you would be better in the sight of God, by which they really mean, you make me uncomfortable. And because you make me uncomfortable, I'm going to claim it's God who doesn't want you in our church, in our mosque, in our synagogue. And we have gotten so good at that attitude that the people that are unsure of whether they fit, whether they are the right skin color, whether they come from the right country, have the right accent, speak the right language, whether they are loving the right type of people, whether they have the right body parts, that they decide not to step foot in the synagogue from the go. They self-select the same way 90% of you self-selected that they are not going to call themselves good singers. And they'll just be quiet. They'll just shut up and disappear. And we have damaged ourselves, especially over the last 100 years, by making more and more people feel that they are less and less welcome. What do we do about that? We have centuries of baggage to deal with that have created a barrier within millions of people to even walking through that door because they assume that we don't want them here. How many of you, no show of hands, I'm not asking for self-reflection, how many of you have ever felt uncomfortable within the synagogue? Maybe you thought, am I really Jewish enough? Am I observant enough? Do I know the prayers well enough? How many of you, to go back to our opening discussion, have felt, maybe I shouldn't sing quite so loudly. I don't really know the words well enough. I don't know the melodies well enough. Other people don't like the sound of my voice. So I'll just, I'll listen to everyone else. I'll just be quiet. You've all felt that at some point, right? At some point you have felt slightly, maybe even worse, depending upon the congregation you might have been a part of, you might have felt slightly alienated. Well, now take that and have it not be fixed simply by whispering a little bit more, or I can learn a little bit more Hebrew, or I can study a bit more so I can hold my own in the conversations over Torah, and then I'll feel like I belong. Take that and make it your body. Oh dear, I'm a woman. I can't stand on that side of the mechitza. Kol isha, my voice will cause an irreparable harm to the spiritual life of any men who will be uncontrollably aroused merely by my existence. Therefore, I have to silence myself so that they are not disturbed. Or perhaps, oh dear, I have a same-sex attraction. I can't walk into this place because if they find out that I'm gay, they will hate me. They will call me a sinner. Oh, sure, they eat treif when they shouldn't. They break Shabbat. They cheat on their taxes and they cheat on their spouses. But the fact that I'm gay, that means that I should be punished and I should be driven away from my community, my congregation, my God, my Torah. Do we see the problem here? And do we see how this has been internalized by millions of people who just assume they don't belong? So what do we do about it? Well, we can do sermons, which is great. Once somebody has come through the door, and if there was anybody here that was wondering whether they belong or not, I can tell you right now, you belong. You deserve to be here. And no one is allowed to try and take that away from you. And we can join together with programs such as Keshet, which works for people of the LGBTQ community to try and help our congregation reach out and support them. And we can try to do better among ourselves. And we can even do something as seemingly trivial but significant as putting a sticker on our door. Have you noticed that sticker on our door? Anybody notice, not the sticker that says share the care that way, right? You probably noticed that sticker, and that is an important sticker because Temple Israel has way too many doors and people get way confused when they're trying to find the right one. I mean the one just to the left of that share the care sticker. It's tiny, about what? That big, maybe? That big? What's on that sticker? A rainbow. A rainbow and a couple words. Anybody know what those words are? What? Even less than welcome. Well, Emily, what's the phrase? Safe space. Safe space. That's it. Safe. Safe. We're not even claiming to be welcoming. We're not claiming to be nice. We just want people who have felt most alienated, most antagonized by the loud, hammering voices of the religious idiots that dominate this noise, that when they come in here, they won't be subjected to that. That they're safe here. That is the bare minimum. Everyone should feel safe walking through those doors, and yet we know that there are millions who do not. And so we put a sticker on the door. So that when someone is considering coming, or they're already feeling nervous about being here, maybe they're coming for a bar mitzvah, maybe they're coming for a special program, and they're kind of hoping that no one finds out about who they are because they don't know whether they are accepted and welcomed here, that at least they'll see that sticker on the way in, and they'll be able to take a breath and say, maybe this won't be so bad. Do you realize how pathetic it is that we have to do that? Perhaps I can relate it in a different way, one that you're maybe easier to accept because for many of us, we don't feel this way. Maybe we're not feeling as alienated after all. You came here on a Shabbat when it's really, really cold. You already felt some warmth here. Go back to the 1940s, here in parts of Florida. You're driving down the road, your eyes are getting heavy, you want to pull over and you want to find a hotel. Does the sign in the window make a difference? Because there are many hotels that are going to have a sign up that say no Jews. Jews were prohibited from many places to stay. Just like blacks were prohibited and people of other races and ethnicities were prohibited, there were no Jew hotels. Well, you know you are expecting that. Right? You have prepared. You know that there are hotels that say no Jews. And so as you drive, you keep seeing no, 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 and you come across a hotel that says Jews are welcome. What does that feel like? Right? Did they have to put it up? They didn't have to put up a no sign. They could have just left no sign. Right? They could have left no sign. They didn't need a sign at all. English is very tricky sometimes. But if they just left the door blank, then you, who had seen no, 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 rejection after rejection after rejection, who knew that you were in a territory that was prone to hate and anger and bigotry, would your assumption be that if there was no sign that you were welcome? Or would your assumption be they forgot to put up their sign telling me to keep driving? In the 1940s, you would approach a door without a sign with much fear and trepidation. Because you walk through that door, you don't know what that person is going to do on the other side, and you know there is a high likelihood that they are going to tell you to get out when they see you try to register as Mr. Cohen. But they put a sign up in the window that says Jews are welcome. Makes all the difference, doesn't it? During the most recent conflict with Hamas, the Gaza war that lasted 2 years, if there was a sign on the window that said, "I stand with Israel," and at a shop, would you feel a little more comfortable walking in there with your Star of David on the outside of your shirt? Or maybe even wearing a kippah or an Israeli cap? Yeah, you bet you would. If there wasn't a sign, well, you would consider, do I need to hide my star? Is this going to be a place where they're going to give me grief? Do I get to walk in there with my friends of the IDF cap? You would ask yourself those questions. Now, even if you come down to the side of, I'm going in no matter what, and I'll deal with them as they treat me, which is a perfectly reasonable response, and one that I think we need to all be prepared for more often, you would be going in with your guard up, just in case. But if you saw that sign that said, "I stand with Israel," then you could walk in feeling a little bit more relaxed. You could walk in knowing, when I go into this store, I'm just going to be a shopper. I don't have to worry about getting into a geopolitical debate with a cashier. Well, that's the same with the sticker on our door. It's there to let people know, the people who have been most alienated over the last 20 years, who have heard the most vitriol, the most lies, and the most hate spewed against them by people claiming the mantle of religion from within our own faith as well as among others. You're not going to get treated like that here. That's why we have that on that door. Now, some of you may be thinking, that doesn't really apply to me. I'm not gay. I've never felt oppressed because of my gender identity. Is it really necessary? Well, I've already hinted. How many of you are of a different gender? You might be a woman. That traditionally in Judaism and many other religious settings does not get a fair shake. How many of you are old enough to remember when women were not allowed up on the bima? When women were not allowed to wear a talit? And the idea of a woman reading from the Torah was just ludicrous. I mean, that would be like a Purim skit. No one could take that idea seriously. Well, if we allow someone to divide the group and say, no, not this group, only this group, and they allow them to do that for people that are gay or trans, well, why can't they do that for women again? Would anybody like Temple Israel to cease its egalitarianism? I think that would be a bitter pill to swallow. And how many of us are of a slightly different shade of white? Different race. And remember, whether we lived it personally or whether we have experienced it directly despite the legal protections we currently have, or whether we have at least read about it, about the discrimination that has been done over race. And if you think, that wouldn't affect me. I'm lily white and no one's going to ever racially discriminate against me, you haven't been paying attention. Because I have news for you, you're still a Jew. And for the people that keep track of race, Jew is a race. And it is not a subset of the white race. It is in fact considered lower by many of them than any other race. May not be as quick to identify, which of course belies the fact that it isn't a racial category, but trust me, among racists, you ain't white. Among racists, you're not welcome. So would we have the temerity to try and racially segregate our congregation, knowing that in the outside world, those who wish for racial segregation would absolutely be putting us into the category of rejects? No. Our choir is stronger with every voice. Our choir is more holy with every voice. Whatever your personal thoughts may be, and we are welcome to debate and discuss any of these topics in more detail, and that's why my table is always open during Kiddush. Pull up extra chairs if it's overcrowded, and don't be afraid to sit down if everybody else has run elsewhere. Whatever you feel in your heart, our congregation embraces everyone. Our congregation welcomes everyone, and our congregation is safe for everyone. Even if you disagree with what I'm saying, this is still a safe place for you as long as you do not make someone else feel unsafe. Karl Popper, great philosopher and thinker of the 20th century, coined a term, the tolerance paradox. He said, look, there's a problem with being tolerant, which is eventually you will be tolerant of those that are intolerant. If you're tolerant of everybody, then that means you have to welcome the intolerant. You have to welcome the hateful. You have to welcome the bigots. You have to welcome the misogynists and the misanthropes and all of the sexists and chauvinists of every variety. Because you're being tolerant, right? How can you say no to them and claim the mantle of tolerance? But of course, he pointed out, when you do so, the intolerant will eventually win. Because the intolerant will take your tolerance, use the freedoms that you are giving and protecting for them and everyone else, to then turn around and deny those freedoms to others. And so the paradox of tolerance means that we actually have to be intolerant of the intolerant in order to maintain tolerance for all of us. Not intolerant of their existence. If somebody wants to be a bigot in the quiet recesses of their own mind and heart, by all means. If someone wants to be a bigot out loud and be shown the door and know that they are not welcome in this space, they are welcome to do so. But we will not accept that ideology, the ideology of intolerance, as dividing us, as pushing some in and others out, as saying some are welcome and others are hated. That cannot be how we act. That cannot be how we behave. Because that is not who we are. We left the land of Egypt with Erev Rav, with a mixed multitude. People that weren't Jewish, but who were inspired by God. Now, were all of them angels? Probably not. Our Midrash gives us a few stories. But did we say, you can't come, you're not good enough? You must be this Jew to ride this ride? No. If they had an interest in God, they were welcome. Didn't mean we approved of everything they did, but it means that we did not alienate anyone who wished to walk alongside of us. We need the Erev Rav. We need that mixed multitude. We have been made stronger in our past, and we are stronger today, the wider our doors stand. We are a chorus, singing at the edge of the sea, celebrating God's gift for us, which is revealed simply by our existence. How dare we turn to one another and say, you're not a good enough singer? And how dare we make some afraid to sing out of a fear that we would say that to them? We have a long way to go to make up for the sins of our past. There is a lot of inertia behind the discrimination and hate that many will experience. But it won't get better until we make sure our doors are wide open and that we accept all, embrace all in their Judaism and in their love to be part of our community. Bear that in mind. When you see that little sticker on the door, it's not just about LGBTQ. It is about the basic foundation of who we are. Walk through that door with pride, knowing that others will see it and feel safe. And when you are here, make each other feel welcome. Shabbat Shalom.